What's up, guys? My name's Brent, and I bought this Tamerack angler. It's a lifetime. Bought it about a month ago. I mean, I've been in it at least 2 or 3 times a week since then. Anyways, there's my crate, and you can see I have 3 kind of crappy rod holders right there. My anchor is a 10-pound Gold's Gym weight tied to some yellow string. It gets the job done. What I do with this is that I use that carabiner and I just make some figure eights on a bite every 4 or 5 feet, and that way usually I can just tie off to one of I can just clip into one of those, and every now and then I'll have to make a new one if it just is right in the middle of one, but it works. So what I've done is I take these practice golf balls, foam practice golf balls, and use those for my scuffer plugs, and they fit right in there perfectly. I'm going to end up painting them. I just haven't done it yet. But there are 6 holes in this Kayak, and if you don't plug them, you're going to get wet. So probably the most prevalent negative about this boat is the seat. It's what everyone talks about first, about being bad. I agree with them. I immediately, within like a week, went out and bought a $20 stadium seat from Dick's. I was impatient and didn't want to wait on an Amazon seat to come in. That was about $10 more that everyone recommends, because I was going out on the water and I just wanted a seat. So I got this and I regret it. It's I would not recommend this seat. It's one of the $20 Dick's Sporting Goods stadium seats, and it gives me maybe an extra half hour of comfort before my butt starts hurting. I mean, these seats are the reason I'm making the outriggers. I mean, they're the reason that I want to stand up. It's because my ass hurts so bad. But it works for about an hour, hour and a half, tops 2 hours before your butt's just numb. So that's going to be another upgrade I do again. I'll probably, I have to find another one. So all of my rod holders come with a carabiner attached to some paracord to keep my rods, and it's actually saved my ass a couple times. I've had 2 occasions where a tree limb has knocked my rod out of its holder, and they'd have been gone. Because I couldn't see them. I just pulled the line up and they were still there, and that's the only thing that saved it. So I'd highly recommend getting some of these. Everyone does a little bit different. I'm a firefighter, so I know firefighter knots, and that's what I tie a bunch of figure eights and other firefighter type knots, and this is one of them. It's probably the easiest for me to do, so that's what I do with all this stuff. And it's pretty easy. You just tie a knot on each end, put a carabiner on the end of it, and you can clip the carabiner right on your pole. Also, what you can do is you screw these in. I cut the PVC pipes. I cut those slits in it for my spinning rods, basically, because they don't fit my bait casters. But my spinning rods, they'll slide right down in there, and then just screw it onto the crate, and then attach your rod lines, and you're good to go. So I added some Velcro, put it right on top of my dry storage, and on the bottom of this little probably cost $1 at Walmart basket, and that it's right next to your seat, so you can I got that from a YouTuber. I can't remember his name, but props to him. And it keeps all my pliers, my trauma shears. I use trauma shears fishing, and I cut line, do all kinds of stuff with, and any bait that I want to be using, because it's kind of hard to reach back. It's kind of hard to reach back into that crate when you're sitting up here to dig for bait in a bag. So anything I know I'm going to be using, I usually put right there. So this is what you all came here for. This is the outrigger system. We'll go over the different links later. For right now, I'm just going to show you what you need. And this is just for the way I did it. it seems to be a pretty proficient way. But what you'll need is you'll need a medium PVC cement. You'll need a tape measure. You'll need a hacksaw or a PVC cutter. You need a drill and a large bit. You need some kind of spray paint. A grinder or sandpaper. I got lucky and had a grinder. You'll need two 10-foot sections of 1 1/4 inch PVC pipe. Now you only need two if you plan on making different lengths. If you just want the 1 or maybe even the 2-foot sections, you can get away with one. 490 1 1/4 inch elbows. 245 1 1/4 inch elbows. You'll need two slip-on 1.25 inch end caps. And then you'll need 4 bolts, 4 nuts, and 12 washers. Now this next part is probably the hardest part of the whole project, and that's assembling the buoys to make the actual outriggers. This is only, a little bit difficult because you have to measure, you have to glue, there's just a lot of working parts. Each buoy probably has like 8 or 9 parts to it that you have to fit together and make it work. The good news is I've already measured it, and I'm going to give you the exact measurements for the 20-inch buoys, Ozark Trail from Walmart. Exactly what you need to measure out if you want to use those. If you want to use larger buoys, like there's a 22-inch and I think there's a smaller one like a 16-inch, you'll have to figure out your own measurements and redo it. But for this, you need 2 PVC parts that are 6 3/4 inch. You need 2 PVC parts that are 3 inches, 2 90-degree angles. You need 1 T. You need 2 slip end caps, and then this is where your 2 bolts and 6 washers and 2 nuts come into play. Now I'm going to show you the difference between putting the bolt through the end cap one way versus another way, and just to show you how much nicer it looks if you can get that deep well socket. I'd say it's totally worth it if you care about making it aesthetically pleasing. It's kind of a must. But once you get this part done, the hard part's over with. Then we just start cutting pieces and putting it all together. And now I made painting 3 different lengths. I made a 32-inch, a 2-foot, and a 1-foot. It gives me more flexibility. Say if I'm in a narrow creek, I might want to make them smaller. If I'm out on a lake that's really calm, I might want to make them a little bit bigger. Now this is the finished product on the 32-inch length. I think it's cool. I think it kind of looks like an X-wing. My only concern is that it might be a little too flexible and flimsy. This is the 2-foot sections. I think they look pretty badass. I like how far out they stick. I'm worried about the stability of it. Of course, you can't really see because the water line is a lot higher than where the ground is. So they're going to look off right now because they're not in the water. But I really like the way this one looks, and I know my paddle will be out of the way. This next one's going to be perfect for creeks. These are the 1-footers. They do look like they're going to be the most stable and sturdy. I am worried about my paddle hitting them, though. Now, if you'll notice, I have holes in both ends of every one of these links, and this is to make them interchangeable and also to make it to where I can float out before I put them on. Now the base of these outriggers is simply 2 11-inch PVC pipes. These pipes are connected to 2 T's and a PVC in the middle and screwed into the crate. So I did something a little bit different than what a lot of other people do. Like a lot of people right here, they use a 90-degree angle and it comes straight out and goes straight down. I did a 45, so it comes out and then goes down like that. And the reason I did that was I want to get this as far away from my paddle as possible. I don't want to touch this at all. I'm putting it on basically the very back of my kayak, and I don't think I'll have a problem, especially doing the 2 or 3 foot lengths, even with the 1 foot, where I have it at that 45-degree angle going down. It's pretty well out of the way. So if y'all learned something today, give me a like. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And if you want part 2, which will be me testing it out and giving you my thoughts and feelings on it, please subscribe. Y'all have a great day.